Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Last Best Take, your Montana-based NFL news and rumors and fantasy football podcast. I'm Ron Kirshner. On our last show video we made with the AFC West and NFC West teams, we got a little carried away with some of the other teams and we forgot the LA Rams. Uh, I had a guy message me about it, and so as an apology, I'm going to make this show specifically just for the Rams. So we'll talk about some of their free agent signings, etc., what they've done this offseason pretty much so far, um, and any news and rumors. Uh, then we'll kind of dive into the draft. As like an apology, I'm going to do a 7 round mock draft for the Rams fans. Uh, I did have a guy lined up to jump on this show with me and talk about his team, but he's kind of like the fans at SoFi when the 49ers come and play there. They just bail and don't show up. So uh, let me pull up my notes, what I got for them. Um, So the Rams haven't really done a whole lot in free agency. Obviously, they've been extremely aggressive in overhauling the secondary, kind of their weak spot, only weak spot on that team. Uh, so obviously the headline with the blockbuster trade, the acquisition of Trent McDuffie, and then signing the record-breaking extension. Uh, it's pretty clear that after Matthew Stafford's MVP season, this team is clearly in an all-in mode for the 2026 campaign. Um, Les Snead is kind of always like that. He's kind of GM of the team. He and always kind of been like F them picks, which I actually kind of like because they brought over Matthew Stafford, gave those picks away, like 3 first round picks or whatever it was, and they won a Super Bowl. And that's what you're trying to do. So even though the Rams are in the 49ers division, I respect the team. They're a good team. They have good ownership. Um, yeah, so let's talk about some of the moves they've made. Obviously, their primary focus was in the cornerback room since it was struggled, which was pretty evident when they played the Seahawks in the playoffs. They made Sam Darnold slinging around and look pretty damn good. So, uh, yeah, so they acquired Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs. They sent over the 29th, one of their first round picks. They had two in the trade that they made last year with the Falcons, where the Falcons traded up to get the defensive end who is now in jail, possibly going to prison. So great trade for the Rams. So they sent the Chiefs the 29th pick, which would have been their original first round pick. They kept the Falcons, which is number 13, I believe. Don't quote me on that. We'll get into it when we get into the draft. It might be later than that. I don't know, but we will do a mock draft. Um, so obviously they acquired Trent McDuffie, signed him to a 4 year, 124 million uh, extension, 100 million guaranteed. That is crazy. Uh, Trent McDuffie is a hell of a football player, probably one of the best corners in the league. Um, and like I said, the GM, he don't care about those first round draft picks. He wants to win, and I respect that. So yeah, so they acquired Trent McDuffie. They also went after the Rams' other corner, Jalen Watson. He signed a 3 year, $51 million deal, 34 million guaranteed. They haven't done a whole lot. Those are their two main ones. They added a linebacker, mostly a special teams guy, Grant Stroud. He's just a special teamer. They signed a long snapper. Uh, they re signed. some key players. Cam Curl, their safety, they brought him back on a 3 year, $36 million contract. Uh, Good for them because I think both of their, if I'm not mistaken, I think quite a few of their safeties were free agents. We'll get to that in a second. They also signed, they brought back Tyler Higbee, their tight end. Uh, I think he originally considered retirement, but he decided to opt out. He'll probably retire when Matthew Stafford retires. So he signed a 2 year, $8 million extension. They brought back their tackle, David Quesenberry, 1 year deal. Linebacker Kier Thomas to a 1 year deal. He was a restricted free agent. They lost Darius Williams. He decided to retire one of their corners. So those two corners that are required filled his spot. Rob Havenstein also retired, their left tackle. Or I don't know if he played left. I think he was a left tackle. He was one of the tackles. He retired. Colby Durant left in free agency. He went to Dallas. Tutu Atwell left. He went to Miami. And then Keel Witherspoon, he left. He's a corner. He left in free agency. I think he just signed either today or yesterday with the Commanders. Some of the latest news and rumors for them. The big thing is they're searching for their backup QB. Jimmy Garoppolo is currently a free agent who was the backup last year. Uh, Rumors suggest the Rams are waiting for the right price to potentially bring him back, or they're considering potentially trading for a developmental prospect, someone like Anthony Richardson. I've seen reports that, or not reports, potential trade ideas. Some guys were projecting that Anthony Richardson might be pretty cheap to get. I saw like a sixth or seventh round pick because the Colts are trying to get rid of him. Um, so they could do that. Another name that they could potentially trade for, Spencer Rattler, Saints. Tyler Shuck, kind of the rookie last year, kind of took over that room there in the Saints. Um, yeah, so they're looking for their backup QB. To my knowledge, I don't think they've signed anybody yet to be the backup QB. So potentially, maybe they draft somebody in the draft, like Ty Simpson, potentially Carson Beck, Garrett Nussmeyer, Drew Aller, guys like that, kind of fit the system, big guys. Um, I'm interested in seeing what their plan is for quarterback after Matthew Stafford retires because Sean McVay has never coached a quarterback that wasn't the number one overall pick. Yeah, the number one overall pick in this draft. Jared Goff, the first couple years that he had him, he was the first pick in the year he came out, and obviously Matthew Stafford, when he came out, was the first overall pick. So it'll be interesting to see. I know that people are saying that Sean McVay helped develop guys like Baker Mayfield when he was there, and I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see if he actually can develop a young QB without having the number one overall pick as a QB. Also, another thing with Matthew Stafford, I saw that his contract pays him until the year 2036. Obviously, though most of those are void years, I believe. So I'm not 100% sure on the details on that. I think most of the cap hits happen 2 to 3 years after he decides to retire. But potentially I'm the Rams can work out details to where maybe they lessen the cap hit and spread it throughout the 10 years or whatever it is that he's got left on his contract. Um, they've also there's also been rumors of the Rams. exploring trading for AJ Brown. I think those have kind of died off now. Um, so we'll see. They were talking about maybe sending that first round pick to get AJ Brown, but I don't think the Eagles are going to do that now. It sounds like he might, if he gets AJ Brown gets traded, it'll be after June 1st, just because if they trade him now, it's a $40 million cap hit towards the Eagles. And after June 1st, I think it goes to 20. So if he gets traded, it'll be after that. So I don't think that's going to happen. They were also talking about moving Devonte Adams with the deal potentially. They're concerned about Devonte Adams' health long term. He hasn't really been able to stay healthy these last few years. Obviously, I don't know why they'd want to do that since I think he scored like 10 touchdowns for them last night. He's a huge red zone target for them. Um, another trade I've heard mentioned with the Rams. They've been linked to trading for since the Dolphins are in complete rebuild mode, going and trying to acquire Devon Achane. He would provide a huge boost in that offense. He's very explosive. That would be scary, and I could see them trying to do that because they're trying to take advantage of Matthew Stafford as long as they can. So F them picks, less need. Go get your guys, I guess. Go win another Super Bowl. I respect it. That's how you won your last Super Bowl, traded for all those guys. Um, they did restructure their left tackle, Alaric Jackson. They lowered his cap hit this year. Big news. Hold on, let me get to that. There was reports yesterday, I believe. Yeah, so Puka Nakua, he's looking for a contract extension, especially after what just happened with JSN's deal. It'll be interesting. I don't think he's going to get his more than him, but he did statistically have his best year. Um, so JSN got 4 year, 168 million, 42 million a year. If uh Puka's looking to kind of eclipse that, which is unlike, and it's been reported that he's got 1 year left on his deal. Uh, it's unlikely to happen until later this summer, I believe. There's uh, a few reasons why with that. But like I said, he's coming off a historically productive year. He was the primary target for Matthew Stafford. He had 129 receptions, which was first in the NFL, 1,700 yards, second in the NFL, 11 touchdowns, which was sixth, and a PFF grade of 96.3, which was number one for all receivers. And he's currently healthy and is not dealing with any major injuries. So he's looking to cash in. However, there was a report yesterday that came out. Uh, legal a civil lawsuit was filed in LA against Puka, allegedly assault, battery, and gender violence. Uh, he supposedly bit a female on the shoulder. Uh, he made some crude remarks. Uh, apparently, the bite on the shoulder uh, started bleeding, broke the skin, and he also bit her friend's thumb. Kind of sounds kind of vampire-y to me, but whatever. Uh, he's denied it and kind of just called it drunk horseplay. But he also had those vulgar, rude comments about those racial comments. So I don't know if that those are there any legal action taken towards those. I know he's since apologized and denied all of it. The lady that he bit, I guess, tried to file for a restraining order. Uh, Tried to file for a restraining order, but so we should see how that affects things. See how that all comes to the end. Should affect his contract negotiation. I'm sure he's not going to get as much as JSN because of that. Uh, Currently, the Rams are projected to be the Super Bowl favorites. Be also the Super Bowl is played at their home field in SoFi, so that's huge. They're projected to win 10.5 to 11.5 wins. Uh, with Matthew Stafford coming off his MVP season, them not really losing too many key players. They have a pretty good chance of winning the division. I think my 49ers will put up a fight as long as they're healthy, but I do see them potentially winning the division, maybe winning the Super Bowl altogether just because of how good they are. That kind of depends on Matthew Stafford's health. He was last offseason was in that hyperbaric chamber thing for his back, so another year older, I don't think that's going to be a good. I don't think that's going to get any better. So we should see. He'll probably do that again, where he just is in that thing all off season. But it just takes one hit, and he's done for the season or something. So we'll see how they play out. Um, we'll go move to the draft. They currently hold the number 13th overall pick, which they acquired from the Falcons. They traded away the 29th pick for Trent McDuffie, like we said. Some of the guys that they're targeting that are being mentioned to them, Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon. He would be an elite middle of the field weapon for that offense because they need more weapons apparently. But this getting a guy like that obviously is an all-in move. Just put him over the top. Also, another name is Makai Lemon. He's a local kid, so that would make sense. Low moving cost. He lives plays right there in LA, so uh, bring him in to bolster that receiving room since they kind of lost Tutu Atwell, and the year before they lost uh, the receiver that's on the 49ers. For some reason, I'm forgetting his name. Anyways, so that all they have for their third string receiver is Jordan Whittington. Um, so obviously, I can see them getting a wide receiver. Um, Another one, Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. He's a deep threat. He's been gaining traction in the mock drafts for them, especially with the end of the AJ Brown rumors. We could also see them going after like an offensive tackle, someone maybe like Francis Mauigoa if he's there. He's a top offensive tackle, right tackle. I think that's what they need is a right tackle. So maybe they do that, get a right tackle to protect Matthew Stafford. Um, or maybe they even try to get their young future QB with Ty Simpson. He's been mocked there a few times I've seen. I don't know if they want to use that high first round pick. Maybe they trade back a little bit if they're going to do that. Um, yeah, so those are just some of the guys. Let's jump into a 7 round mock draft for them. And we'll kind of go through it. Kind of doing this because as a kind of an apology because we forgot you guys in the last video. So we got the Rams 7 round. We'll go with consensus just because that's kind of based off all the platforms. Let's enter that. Yep, there it goes. We're not gonna do any trades, even though that makes a lot of sense. If they got that trade, I'm sure they accept it, then move back a little bit. Ooh, look at these trades. Get a second round for Miami. Wow. If they got these trades, I'm sure they would take that, but we're not going to do that. So, some of the guys we got here, we got McKylen and the guy I was just talking about, USC. They, if they want to all in, go all in, they need to get a guy like either the Jordan Tyson or Makai Lemon. This Makai Lemon makes sense since he's right there in LA already. Uh, the thing with him though, I think he kind of deals the same thing kind of Puka does, kind of the underneath, does that type of stuff. I think if they were going to go wide receiver, it would be more like a Jordan Tyson, even though I don't know if they do that. I haven't heard any reports of the medicals come back on Jordan Tyson, so I'm not sure they would do that. But you know what? The Rams might not care about that. He could sit a year, get healthy, let Devontae Adams play. So if they were to go wide receiver, this one makes sense to me. He's a deep threat, stretch the field. They have the best left tackle available, so if they want to do that, potentially they could do that. Um, that makes sense. Let's see who went on the board. Oops. Let's see what the board looks like. So obviously Fernando Mendoza. Wow, Caleb Downs went second. Ruben Bain, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. Some of these mock drafts are stupid. Like Jeremiah Love wouldn't go to the Browns, but all these players I do think go kind of in this spot. Maybe not to those teams. Like Carnell Tate wouldn't go to the Bengals, but I do see those players being gone. Obviously, not to those teams, but yeah. So let's jump. Let's see. Let's check out some more of these players. Um, it's so the team needs offensive tackle, linebacker. Um, I don't think they would. I mean, the top linebacker is CJ Allen. I don't think they would do that. They've never really been big into drafting linebackers high in the drafts, so I don't think they would do that. And I don't. I think they're going to do a move that's going to be like win now. So um, some of these guys, oops. I mean, they could get Vega Ione, improve that interior, that offensive line, but I think their offensive line's not bad. Um, the guy I'm looking at right here, Kenyon Sadiq, the number one tight end, he's a freak of nature. He's projected to go in the first round. Oh, he's from Idaho Falls. Wow, that's crazy. Didn't know that. Yeah, so it says here one of the nation's most intriguing tight end prospects. I think this would be the type of guy they would get. So that's where I'm gonna go. Yeah, Kenyon Sadiq, first round. Let's see. So offensive tackle. We're not gonna do any trades, even though I know the Rams like to do that. See, this is I could see potentially if this guy's here, then maybe actually getting a linebacker pretty high, but they do have Landman who's been pretty solid for them. Um, they could get another quarter. I mean, I know they got the two guys from the Chiefs, but I'm not sure who their third guy is. So they could potentially upgrade there. Um, Pass rusher opposite, get another pass rusher. You could always do that. You know what? I think we're gonna do this. We got him a tight end. It says linebackers one of their top needs. Let's get him one of the best tight linebackers in the college football last year. This guy's a playmaker. Put him, let him and Landman play mid that field. I think that would be pretty good. I don't know if the Rams would do that, but let's just check, take a look, see who else is here. How do I scroll without? I would like to. Okay, let's just go. I think they're gonna go. Let's go defense. Let's see if they go. Let's see wide receiver actually. Top wide receivers. So we got Antonio Williams. Maybe. Uh, we went tight end. Let's go tackles. Okay, so Caleb Tiernan. I could see them doing that. He fits the scheme. I'm gonna go here, Jacob Rodriguez, though. That'd be pretty special. Get two of the best college football players last year. So yeah, let's do that. Rams fans, if you don't like this mock draft, go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you guys would do. I already see who I'm targeting here. So they've really liked dipping their toes with Florida State. I see a guy here, defensive tackle, that would kind of fit. I think they need some more interior pass rusher. Uh, he's projected a third round. Okay. Run defense. So he would improve their run defense. I think they kind of struggled with run defense. So um, I don't want to talk too much about these guys, but they could go Crawford opposite. It'd be pretty good. I'm just going based off their needs though. So I see a tackle. We go to tackle. Let's check out the tackles. Penn State. Here's a guy that I would fit the scheme. He fits. He's been pretty good. He's very athletic guard. Uh, so I think maybe they could do that, or they could go here, Isaiah World. Isaiah World, however, uh, tore his ACL, I believe, last year. Let me see if it says, yeah, tore his ACL in the college football playoff, so he might be out a while. So I don't know if they want to do that. I mean, they could just have him sit for a year, but I think they're, like I said, they're in an all in win year. So I think they're going to want to get guys that can help them now. Okay. We could go big citrus here with Dominique Orange. I could see that. Let's do that. Well, they do like their Florida State guys, so let's just get him another Florida State guy, defensive tackle. Get him some interior pass rush, run stopping ability. I think this guy's more of a run stopper, but let's go that route. Get him another Florida State guy. It's worked out for him pretty well, so I think they might dip their toes in that again. Um, Probably try to go offensive tackle, maybe see who's there for QBs. Maybe we get a QB to develop. Ooh, see Cade Club. There's a QB right there. Cade Klubnik. He had an awful year this year. So we got the Baylor guy. This guy is the one I see. He was projected to be like a top five QB or like one of the better QBs coming out this year, but he kind of had an awful season. 6'2", 210. Oh, I thought he was bigger than that, but it's big enough. Um, He's a former five-star recruit. Uh, at his best, he's an electric point guard. So he kind of does the Bo Nix thing where he contributes to receivers or everybody on the field, which, Matthew Stafford actually kind of does that too. It wasn't really, I mean, if he had a dominant wide receiver like he did with Calvin Johnson, obviously you're going to feed that guy the ball, but he kind of spreads the ball out pretty good to all of his wide receivers. So maybe getting this guy to sit behind Matthew Stafford a year, uh, that's what we're going to do. Get him a QB, development of QB, see if Sean McVay can actually develop QBs. No, we're not going to accept that. Okay. Wide receiver. Who have we picked so far? I want to see who we've picked. My pick. So we've gone tight end, got him a QB. You guys got three seventh round picks, huh? So we can go see if there's any tackles. There's one guy that I could see them getting if he's still there. Um, really wish I could figure out how to scroll through this. Okay, there we go. So what I'm looking for is like a scheme fit guy. Um, the guy I'm looking for, he must have already went. Clemson guy, left tackle. I feel like he's not ready yet, but he's been pretty good. Um, what else are their needs? Wide receiver. Did we get a wide receiver yet? Okay, let's see wide receivers. Meaning a lot of these guys. See, I've been doing a lot of mock drafts for the 49ers, so a lot of these guys, 49ers don't have any seventh round, late round picks. They don't have any picks after the fourth round. So a lot of these guys I have not seen yet. So I don't really know much about him. I know this guy was a stud in college, though. Penn State wide receiver. Uh, let's just go best available. See what we got. Safety. Come on, get me up there. All right. So we could go this guy, wide receiver. He's the best available. I don't really know much about him. Like I said, I haven't gotten into the. Says he could be a sleeper of this class. Produced as a go-to red zone threat, so I guess he could essentially fill the role of Devontae Adams when he leaves, decides to retire. So that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna go Jordan Hudson, receiver, SMU. We're just kind of filling their needs. Um, what else do you guys got? Okay. Uh, I do like this guy, Mikael Kamara. He was a stud in the college football playoffs, so get him a defensive end. Excuse me. Um, and let's just go a center. Should we get him a center? I thought I maybe saw. We'll go with another USC guy, Bishop Fitzgerald. I think that's the end of it. So there's your seven round mock draft for you Rams fans. Once again, I apologize for not getting you in on the AFC NFC video that we made. I kind of got carried away with my 49ers, so it ran a little long. Um,